issue here. Oh, man, here we go. Hawk, you go ahead and put those headphones on right this freaking second. All right, so I mentioned that we would bump back with the Jeff in Richmond. Rich shaking his head like, good, man, it's not me. I said that we would bump back with the Jeff in Richmond holiday card, Christmas card. And I've been hyping this thing up as the one to beat, the one to beat, the one to beat, the one to beat, the one to beat. Because I saw the card. Hawk, I didn't see the other parts of the card. All right, so what did we just bump back with for those who may have missed it?
We bumped back with not one, not two, but three Jeff from Richmond.
Okay, and why cards. when you showed me, and again, as always, the Jim Rome radio show. I own anything that happens, anything that is said on the Jim Rome radio show. Extreme ownership, period. However, I did not know there were other parts to the card.
Nor did I. And
how did you not know?
Because as soon as I see the subject line holiday card, or I see the little paper clip that says there's an attachment on an email, which we never have attachments on emails normally outside of this season, I just immediately forward them to my good friend Nate on the TV side, who takes it from there.
Here's an amazing idea. Why don't you open up the attachment and see what you're forwarding?
I honestly don't have time to look at all the cards, so I just send them to the person that has that time.
Don't you want to know what's going to be on the air before it goes on the air?
Well, they're so good at their job in New York that I trust their quality control. They've never put us in a bad spot. They protect us.
Really? Because you just put me in a bad spot.
Well, I would say that was a pretty great spot considering what we got with those other two cards that we didn't know were going to air. You got a topless Jeff from Richmond in a bucket hat on the beach. You've got him in what looks like a green Masters sport coat. And then you've got the infamous one that you just tweeted out on your Twitter feed, the one that we can talk about now if you'd like.
Okay, so I was basing, let me just say this. Yes, the other two are pretty amazing in a different way. However, I was basing the comments that I have been making for the last week or so based only on the one that I just tweeted out. Now, if you're watching CBS Sports Network, I thought that was the only attachment. For good reason. That's what I was told, right? So anyway, let's just focus on the one that I thought that we had, and then you can focus on the other two. In fact, you're going to focus on all three. However, the Jeff in Richmond Christmas card, if you're watching on CBS Sports Network right now, well, it just dropped off, but it will be back in a minute. What it is a picture of his quote, and this is what he would say, not me. I'm not saying this about another man's wife. I'm sure Jeff would describe her as his rocket wife. So she's on the hood of a Mercedes-Benz, and she's, how do I put this? I don't want to say scantily clad, but let's just say she's dressed the part. She looks great. She looks fabulous. The kids look like rich kids. They got little rich kid lettuce, little rich kid sunglasses. They look the part. They're each also posted up on the Benz. If you look off in the distance, there is an American flag. It looks like there is a lot of foliage. I don't know if this would constitute or be part of his, quote, 4-acre country estate that he has talked about so much in the past. I don't really know. I mean, I don't even know if it's his Benz, but it is a Benz, is it not?
It's a wonderful card, and I do want to point out that you have tweeted this out, so if people aren't next to a TV and they've got the phone, it's on the @JimRome Twitter handle. Also, he refers to the three people in the picture as the, quote, Jeff from Richmond hype machine on the card, which is great to refer to your own family as the hype machine.
The hype machine. All right, so the hype machine, my initial thought, because that was the only card that I saw, was that he did not include himself in the card. Really quickly, because we only tweeted the one card, what are the other cards like where he is included, and how does he look?
Jeff looks like he has had his fair share of meals.
Food?
Yeah, which if you're as rich as Jeff is, I would assume you're not missing many meals, and good for him.
Hey, I was going to say, in his defense, my man's living the life.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who would say that any kind of portliness is a sign of wealth, and so he definitely fits that part.
Or of not pushing away from the table or walking into a gym or living the good life.
Yeah, so he's on the beach in a bucket hat without a shirt on in one of them. And then in the other one, he's got what looks like a green Master sport coat on. What I like about Jeff is he's always flanked by his family.
I wonder if he's a member at Augusta.
Probably.
Okay.
I do like people that involve their families. It's great, especially around the holidays. So the fact that his family is his hype machine and they're in all of these pictures, very nice touch by Jeff. And if you hate these pictures, then he's winning all over again.
He's winning no matter what. He's winning no matter what. I mean, look at that Benz. Look at that wife. Look at those kids. Look at that foliage. Look at his... Anyway. All right. Thank you very much, Adam. So go ahead and react to my Twitter feed because I did ask you for your thoughts. Jeff in Richmond doing Jeff in Richmond things. You know, in terms of him being, somewhat out of shape, and who am I to judge because I'm not exactly a world-class athlete at this point or ever. Again, it really depends on your point of view. Maybe Jeff in Richmond has been on the grind for decades. Maybe Jeff in Richmond has been busting his ass for so long, and this is his reward. Hey, Rome, if what Hawk is saying is true, then how rich is Beeks? All right, so this is what I'm going to get to. You can look at Jeff in Richmond in terms of Jeff in Richmond. Why does he look like that? Because he is consuming more calories than he is burning. That's the first reason. Secondarily, why is he consuming more calories than he is burning? The same reason anybody does anything, because they can. Point number 3. Again, but why? Well, because maybe he's living the good life. Maybe he's worked hard. Maybe that's a product of, I don't know, too many rich New York steaks and cognac and cigars and rounds of golf. Maybe he's lazy. Maybe he doesn't hit the gym. I don't know. I don't really care. I love it. I love it and the fact that he lost his family, the hype machine. And that they are featured prominently on the cover, not of the card, but of a Mercedes-Benz. Looking the part. Let's get some quick reaction as I go to break. Johnny Scabs, quote, apparently money can't buy everything. No, Scabs. Just like it will never buy you a golden ticket. But it bought him a Benz and a country estate and apparently a lot of Armani gear and a green jacket and a bucket hat. H.O.F. Spillane. Dude must have a big roll of cake. 1for3C1 tweets, funny how Bob Costas was not included in the Christmas card. Again, you may mock him for saying that he and Bob Costas are not only friends, but colleagues, but Bob Costas himself on this show copped to the fact that he and Jeff in Richmond are friends.
One of our stops was Richmond, but it was a Sunday. And if you have his number or any information on him, I couldn't get in touch with your office, and it probably would have been ill-advised for me to contact Jeff in Richmond and let him know that I was anywhere near his environs or area code. But the notion of Jeff in Richmond was actually going through my mind as we were walking through the lovely University of Richmond campus.
So should I interpret this to mean that you did not spend time at his 10-acre country estate admiring all of his sleds, his 18-inch pipes, his Armani gear, and his rocket wife?
All of the above, sad as it is, would be true. I came in contact with none of it.
Bob Costas joining
including
us.
his rocket wife, I'd like to stipulate.
My man, it's so great. That is not a, quote, celebrity impersonator. That was, in fact, arguably the greatest sports broadcaster ever, Bob Costas, talking about Jeff in Richmond and his, quote, rocket wife on this show. CK Sigma 1914 tweets, quote, strong. Jules Infoco tweets, this is just fantastic. Man, I love it that everybody's not here to hate. Roach 4040 tweets, the infamous luxury sled. Iowa Neck tweets, the dirtiest player in the game. Statical Plane tweets, where the F is Jeff? These are paid actors. They're not. One, they're the hype machine. Two, he is in the card. Wells in the 360. The best part of Jeff's card is that Jeff isn't in it. Again, I only tweeted part of it. There are 3 parts to it. He is in it. At Party Mike, quote, that's an escort. And the kids, she's babysitting. It's not. It's his, quote, rocket wife and his kids. And they all make up the, quote, hype machine. JC in Calgary, quote, 0 chance Jeff fits in that car. I don't know, man. It's a Benz. That's a sedan. That's a nice car. I bet he does. Maybe not comfortably. Maybe not without the help of a crane. Just kidding, brother. He does. What are your thoughts?
Get your game up.
At Good Life, Sean tweets, green blazer. I think that's a green baseball tarp that Jeff is wearing. Wait, you mean like that green screen that I broadcast in front of on Sundays? Find your way to my Twitter feed at Jim Rome and check out the hype machine.
Good night now.
Jeff in Richmond. Like I said, Jeff in Richmond doing Jeff in Richmond things. My man, brother, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Well done. Very well done. The best Christmas card since the famous Janet Rome Christmas card that goes out every single year. Time now for a sport.